a couple minutes killing time on the wrong stream because I'm still trying to kill time.
Oh, there it is, the invite screen. I see it now.
Hey, cool. Yeah,
Hey.
we're playing Anthem.
Are we? I don't know if we are anymore. What is up? What is down? What is real?
Can you guys please show me some sexy flying robots?
Look, if Jason will accept the invite.
I had to shut my game down. Okay, that's.
Oh, and look.
Yeah. Ooh,
there's Merziloff and Origami Panther both listed with the same power.
You're not wrong.
Screenshot taken.
In a lot of ways, I always like to think that Locke and I have the same power. That we are evenly matched on the battlefield.
Yes.
But I know in my heart of hearts that his lumber sexualness will always win the day.
I see. Should we use a consumable?
I mean, literally my game is crashing in front of my eyes. So
here's what we're gonna do.
So do what you want to do.
I'm gonna fly around in free play, and Jason can talk about Anthem. Okay.
All right.
And I'm not gonna use a consumable because
I know a little bit about what this game does, but it's mostly just from people talking about it.
So I'll preface it by saying I like it.
Okay. I like it so far.
I like the ideas of it, and I like we'll show them off like if we have the time to do so based off of loading screens and XYZ. But like if we have the time to do so, I really love the Colossus javelin. That is, I get to live out a fantasy that I'm either Juggernaut from the Marvel Universe or Terry Tate, office linebacker. You decide, but it is a lot of fun to just put up a shield in front of me and straight up do a running charge into every single enemy I see and knock them out that way. So
I would like to point out that this horrendous load time is on a solid state drive.
Yeah, that's.
There we go.
Oh,
that's me.
So, what BioWare like things does this game do?
So the best, it is Mass Effect 3/Andromeda combat system.
That's like the worst of BioWare. What BioWare things does this game do?
Mass Effect 3/Andromeda combo. Mass Effect Andromeda storytelling.
Okay,
Yikes.
You're getting colder.
It is. That's truly it. Like the story aspect. I don't want to do this straight off the bat, but honestly, the best comparison there is between this game and anything else out there is Destiny 1 when it launched, 2014. Like, it just feels like it is in that exact same state where you're like, this story feels weird and gutted and not quite, like it's like, in fairness to this game, like, there is a story that follows through, and there's no one who shows up who says, I don't have time to explain what I don't have time to explain, but like, it's not too far removed from that. Once you get done beating the game, sort of, you're left at the same point of, well, now what? Loot in this game feels not well
designed.
Paced. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't even know necessarily not well designed. Like, I having gotten a few more rare items, I kind of see some ideas for things, but like, not well paced. Like, every single loot game for the past few years has done this. Like, Diablo 3 has done this, Destiny has done this. I mean, like, this game is not alone, but like, there is not enough meaningful loot fast enough, and there's not enough loot sometimes just in general. It feels like you're getting, like, people play these games because they freaking love loot. Like, they just want to see a pinata of loot shower down upon them, and you can get that occasionally, but like, most So what you get, you're like, all right, we'll salvage, 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 and occasionally you're just like, oh, I'll keep that. But it's just such a weird progression of things. But it's easier to show that kind of like once we get going here. So I'm in the game. I can finally join you.
Cool.
What are we doing?
I'm running around free play trying to kill time.
Am I able to? Well, you probably have other people there, so I don't know if I can join up with you. Send me an invite anyway. See if I can join up with your squad.
I'm doing space magic. Give me a second.
Stop doing space magic.
Tell me more about space magic.
Well, do you like to throw lightning bolts and fire and ice? That's I mean, depends where you're standing.
I can also
But-
put a quick field in.
But yeah, I mean, like the combat in this game is use a lot of combo setup. It's the same combo kind of idea as like in Mass Effect, right? Where you'd have one ability that would be like a primer, and then another ability that would be a detonator and cause some effect. Same deal here, which, by the way, is not explained very well. I actually found a graphic that someone, like a Reddit user, put together that is so helpful. Like, it breaks everything down. Like, here is every single ability for every single class, and it has a little symbol that denotes what's a primer, what's the detonator. I mean, like, that information of this is a primer or detonator is in the game, but unless you know that's what it means, unless you know that's what you're looking at, it's kind of a, hey, this has a symbol and this one doesn't, kind of a thing. So yeah,
I have noticed that my frame rate is noticeably worse since that patch, so this might get a little dodgier than I am used to. But I guess I can load back to the fort real quick.
You're not able to just send me an invite from where you are?
Hold on. Social. Session. Friends.
I mean, being a BioWare game, they're kind of moving the lever over from story to kind of the loot grind, right?
Yes, in a way. I mean, like, so they've dabbled this in their own interesting way, right? Like, when you go back and you look at, like the past Mass Effect games, or like.
I think you broke him.
Please come back.
I saw your screen said that.
Apparently he has joined and left my squad, so we must have killed it.
So stability is an issue, apparently.
Yeah. Okay, so I picked this up on the Origin premiere because I don't think any of us wanted to commit to buying another game that offers a time suck similar to Destiny.
Yeah.
And so I've been playing it since the pre-release, right? And it does a lot of things where it'll just like open a door and suddenly you get kicked off the server. So it has some stability issues like that. So what I'm doing right now is I'm playing in the free play mode, which just lets you go around the game's world, and there is one map. It is very large and it's very beautiful.
Yeah.
And it is very let's say it might be a little, look how rich this environment looks, and then I'm just gonna fly around a big chunk of it, and you tell me how many enemies you see.
None?
0, because the game will just kind of spawn enemies in every now and then.
Yeah.
But, I mean, a lot of empty. Like, there's not a whole lot. And there's actually supposed to be public events that are happening. So I don't mean this to disparage the game.
No.
But okay, so here, a pub event just spawned, so let's go do it. If I can get to it. Also, the game's map is really bad. So that's cool. Okay, that's not where I want to go. So I'm going to try and find the thing I'm supposed to go to, which I believe is up around the corner. Okay, here we go. So here's a public event. So anybody in this server instance with me can join it. This works basically the same as Destiny. So I'll fire off my living flame and fire off the ice. So that particular combo, the living flame is the primer, and the ice javelin I used there is the detonator. So
Can
hopefully...
you set off your own combos?
What's that?
Can you set off your own combos?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
What you just did.
that. It requires a bit of timing, and I am unfortunately lagging a bit here. But you'll see, like, the loop is generally fly around, try and... thought I could missile forward. I'm doing really bad. Fly around, you fire off one ability, you follow it with a second ability, and you see that combo indicator that popped out of its head. And then I have a super, which I will demonstrate here.
Spell effects are really cool.
Look at all that space magic.
Yeah, visually this is just nuts. It's real cool.
Yeah, it's... I'm sorry, it's really hard to talk and play this one.
No.
Because of the enemy density. So we're playing the PC version. I actually fully recommend playing it with a controller, even though I normally don't like playing shooters without a mouse and keyboard. But the flight controls in this game feel real bad on a mouse. And considering you do an awful lot of flying.
Another one.
1 2 1 2.
Oh, hello.
Back, we got him.
Hello, sir.
I found a public event. Oh. Cool. Ha!
You warped to the wall.
I did. I warped into a wall.
Neat.
Oh, that certainly happened
Weird.
before.
Alright, so apparently my failing to join your party fucked up my audio.
That's cool.
Yes.
Nope.
Up.
Not today, Satan.
So one of the things I was trying to say before, shouting into the void, was that each of the javelins, so not only can they do their own combos, but actually each of the javelins also have a special effect whenever they trigger a combo. So for instance, the storm that Mike's using, it'll transfer the effects, whatever the elemental effects are, to nearby enemies when he pops it. The Colossus just does like an AoE burst. The Ranger gets increased damage against the single target for a short period of time, and then the Interceptor gets like a aura that applies the elemental effect to anything around him for a short period of time.
So I'm really supposed to be doing is blowing up these little caches here.
But who wants to do that? Where's the fun?
Well, what I was trying to do is talk and play this game at the same time, which I'm discovering is impossible.
Start expedition. I want to bounce and leap and fly through the air. I want to do something with you, Mike.
Yeah? Am I gonna crash your game by inviting you?
I mean, only if you're...
Boom!
Maybe you should go back to the Fort Tarsus first. Since you have an empty instance that I can join.
Alright, hold on, let me finish this public event.
So Fort Tarsus is the social area.
No.
The landing bay is the social area. Fort Tarsus is the story zone that you walk around.
Okay.
It's the equivalent of like the.
That appears to be all of them. Crisis averted, eh?
Why do I suddenly forget the name of the ship from Mass Effect?
The Normandy.
Normandy.
Normandy, there we go. It's the equivalent of Normandy, right? Like, oh, here's where this person hangs out, and I go talk to them in between missions, and they have something more to say now, and they, but it's also like the quest givers. So you talk to them between missions, and they have something to say, and then all of a sudden they have another part of their quest chain, or they have a contract for you, or whatever. Here's the Sentinel lady that's kind of socially awkward and is like, I don't know if I should.
Socially awkward.
Compared to some people I know, yes.
I'm gonna need to do something about my graphics settings because this is manifests. It's not the frame rate; it's actually manifesting in the controls.
No, right. Like, the part about this that really frustrates me is I really want to play this at times because it's fun to play. It is fun to play when you can play it and when stuff works, but the number of times where it's just like all of a sudden this now becomes this stuttery mess where enemies pop up around me that I didn't even see were there. My health drops to like a third of what it was, or I'm dead because I've been, per the game, I've been standing in one spot getting shot, but in my view, I've been in cover or attacking guys, so like that just makes it such a frustrating mess to try and play.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that some of these changes that I just did help with that, and we'll see once I actually get out there. And if so, I will be happy to share them based off of what I saw others posting.
What I was starting to say earlier is I actually do like this game when it's stable. Right now, I need to maybe adjust my graphics settings a bit to try and figure out what is causing the chop. When the game is not performing well, like the controls, the aiming in this game is already a little bit loose for my tastes. So like even with a mouse and keyboard, it's not as precise a shooter as, say, even something like a Gears of War, right? Which is what I would expect it to play like. And or even something like Warframe, which is really analogous to this in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But that is...
Freelancers don't play free, though.
Do you want me to go to the launch bay or Tarsus?
Go to launch bay. That'll be the less. It'll be faster and less graphics. Everything else. I'm running around here like I've never run around in this game. Like, it is freeing, the fact that this is how smooth I think this game is supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's another fun fact about the launch bay. If you're in a party, as we'll see at some point here, and you go to the launch bay, you don't go to the same launch bay.
That's cool.
It actually match makes you up with other people. which is
Makes
bizarre.
sense. Design decision.
It
Okay.
really does feel a lot like, much like Destiny, this game kind of feels like it got a hard reboot at some point, and that they scrambled to put features back in.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, when
Yeah, I
I
mean,
when
like,
I was
this
saying
social
like, oh,
space
this
wasn't
UI
even supposed to-
changed, it went from a, oh, this was a polished, maybe not polished, but like this is a fully functional UI that looks a certain way, and then they just straight up changed it. Are you in my party or not?
No, no.
Alright, let's try this again.
Let's see what happens.
I have invited you.
Do you
I'm
guys
saying
think
yes.
it'd be a case where, you know, they've obviously sunk a bunch of money into this to make it their big thing? You know, Destiny took a year.
Destiny
to
took
get going,
5
right?
years. No, I mean,
Yeah,
like, Taken King was
well,
good,
like,
but
Taken
honestly,
King, yeah.
but Destiny is not what I think of Destiny until it got to this past expansion and this past year. Like, even with the Black Armory, as
Right.
rough of a start that had, the way the rest of that expansion has gone, Destiny is in the best spot it's ever been, and it took them 4 years, you know, to get to Forsaken, and you know, now they're in 2019, so it took them a long time to get to this point where they're at now. And boy, I don't know. Like, EA, the way EA's been doing stuff nowadays, they're quick to cut and run. It feels like on some
Right.
stuff.
It seems like, you know, you've put a bunch of money into this. You got to kind of stick with it.
I mean, but they cut and run on I've lost connection to the EA service apparently.
Oh, good.
Wow.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, but apparently I'm still in your thing, so I'm ready to go.
Like, I'm okay
change
giving.
But like, sorry, I meant to say that they left Mass Effect Andromeda, right? Like, there was stuff that they were there was DLC that they said, now we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, just, yeah, it is amazing, like, the way that, are we set to public?
We have to be.
No, if we're doing a mission.
Alright, hold on.
I mean, like, I think it's just gonna be easier for us to be able to do this if we're not
Keep is private.
anyways.
Okay, it's private.
Whoa, that was weird. Yeah, I just don't know. Like, yes, they have to at some point, but like, obviously, they're also okay saying we're just gonna cut our losses, because EA as a company is like, we can make money back from Madden and from FIFA and now from Apex Legends, which is
Right.
blown up, right? So, but BioWare as a developer, I don't know, right? Like, that's the sad point in all this, is like, you look at this and I can see where this game can go. I can see the direction, and I know that it can be done because Blizzard turned Diablo 3 around, right? And Bungie has
Bungie
taken
turned
time
Destiny
to
around. How about
Right, so,
Warframe,
like,
which completely got turned around?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, like, so it is not unprecedented for this to happen, but it is also a time commitment, and if EA as the publisher is going to do that, I don't know, and they may just be like, yeah, that's okay, bye BioWare, and so then there goes, you know, like, is that it? Over and done for BioWare, based off of everybody's kind of been like, yeah, they haven't been doing so hot lately after, you know, Andromeda, and even I think Dragon Age Inquisition wasn't. I mean, which I really enjoyed. I thought it was a fun game, and I really enjoyed the multiplayer of that game. But I think it didn't do quite as well as they were expecting. You know, but yeah, it's so tough to say right now. It is so tough to say. And I think the shame would be if they didn't stick out with this and kind of see it through some, because I really want to see what this game would look like in 2 years.
Yeah, like, oh, the potential is there. Like, this is cool.
Yeah.
Let's see if they lead anywhere.
Let's run. So I am playing. Oh god. I'm playing an interceptor, which is the melee class.
Ninja Boy?
Yeah. Ninja Boy 420.
They found more tracks. Still
Really?
no signs of battle. And no word from freelancer Diggs so
I mean,
far.
I think that's what it has to be. Where is... I don't know what's going on.
What's the fashion like?
You know, I would have to say, like, so a lot of it is cool from that standpoint of, as far as
Good site for scavenging.
they give you lots of different materials to use. So it's like, oh, I'm gonna make this hard plastic, I'm gonna
Wait, look.
make the metal and stuff like that. So like, there's a little bit of that feeling of I can paint my mech how I want it.
It's been scavenged by scars. That is clear,
And
at least.
it seems like some of those shaders, some of those materials that you can use to paint it with are unlocked by doing things in the game.
Okay.
But like different looks, so like, for lack of a better, like the different looks that you can get for your
Javelin.
javelin, yeah,
I see.
those seem to be premium.
Up a cliff over here.
So like what I've got on my javelin right now is Gin of Dawn, which is what you get for the $15, you know, Origin access. So this particular skin of it is from that, and other skins then looks like you have to.
Scars.
Boy, I am like
About you.
not far behind you before I got a warning that I'm gonna get teleported to you, Mike.
They look
Yeah,
good.
you're not tethered except on a mission, and then you're really tethered.
There could be many scars here, but not enough to overpower a strider
this
without
is
firing a shot.
I'm sorry.
Chuggy. No, you don't apologize.
Do not open the gate
This
yet.
is this experience right now.
Scars first.
I don't know how good I'm gonna be in this fight. That
okay.
makes me sad.
I put this game down for a week, and now I'm terrible at it. So
There are always so many scars.
They are roaches. You see one, you know 10. I'm not far.
space magic with it.
These can't spring up faster than we can stop them.
Yet we can't let them get a foothold, even out here.
Jeez. There we go. Alright, well, I am kind of... I'm gonna get killed here. Just because I don't... Well, no, I mean, like, I'm saying that just as, like, I don't know what's happening right now. Oh, there's a big bad guy. Oops. And I really am gonna die because I can't... Yeah.
Yeah. Here, shoot.
So the squads, when you do get folks together, 4 players, how many different classes are there?
4 total.
Okay, that should take care of the scars.
And they feel different enough, like each one, it is the nice thing.
They are very different.
And the 2 that I've played thus far, Interceptor and Colossus, I do kind of like playing both of them for different reasons. Like Interceptor is very quick, dashy, get in there and start cutting stuff up.
Got the other cage open.
And actually, I just found So I found a shotgun that I'm using right now that increases my machine pistol, which is like the equivalent of a submachine gun. So I've got some stuff that actually then boosts, like augments I have on that boost the amount of ammo I can carry for machine pistols, as well as a little bit of their damage. So there's stuff I'm seeing from the gear where I'm like, okay, I can start kind of crafting something of a build for my interceptor that I want to use that, you know, is all about shotgun and machine pistol, right? Up close, because they need to be doing a bunch of melee anyways. So,
Better question. Who is Diggs?
up close weaponry, high damage kind of stuff, but also somewhat of a glass cannon because they're not really designed to take a lot of hits.
A lot of the enemies seem to be bullet spongy.
Their shields definitely can be. Like, the one thing I've noticed is like enemy shields or protective barriers can just be worse than enemy health.
Yeah, usually
Which again
it's just
is
popping the barrier and then you're fine.
Which again is very much like Mass Effect, right? Like Mass Effect, you'd have enemies that had shields, and shields are weak to like certain abilities, and then rapid fire stuff, so like submachine guns or whatever.
Oh, did you die? Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to get a res up on me to complete that challenge. And things like, okay, I'm gonna go aerial to try and avoid combat or whatever, kind of works, but also you get a bunch of enemies that just, then once you're up in the air you have no cover, so they can just shoot you down out of the sky.
So, Locke and Nick, do you have any more questions?
What's the lore?
The lore, all I know is that it's deep. And
It's so deep, we can't even tell it to you because we're still discovering it.
Okay. All I've heard of is the Anthem of Creation.
They talk about that a lot.
It changed the fabric of reality.
The Anthem of Creation is a thing.
Is the Anthem of Creation Detroit Rock City?
It's actually Jefferson Starship. We built this city on rock and roll.
Ah, okay. That's
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Detroit Become Human.
No, that's a whole other game that's really asked the question, but what about racism?
But what about it?
Is this stage racism?
I mean, people have some very strong opinions about scars, as we just heard, and those are just bugs trying to live their own best bug life.
A bug's life? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Here we go.
So the other thing, nah.
Remember,
Being bought and sold, huh?
we have solved bug racism already. Did you not see Starship Troopers?
Don't you remember when we elected that bug president?
I don't like where this is going.
Yeah, so from a co-op perspective, like, it does feel, the one thing I'll say is that because each of the classes feel different, and you can kind of create some very distinct builds,
Can you get any info?
it does feel a little bit more like good opportunities for like co-op, right? Like doing some pulling co-op stuff off, where Mike sets up some stuff, primers, right, and I detonate them, and then I can combo off of that, and have this aura around me. Oh, this guy.
It's a big boy.
Gross. Gross. Alvarado is this. Gross.
My super's up shortly. Is that gonna help?
Kind of.
Kind of.
What I really need you to do is when when he spawns enemies, set them up so I can detonate them. Also, this is a fallen walker, so shoot his legs.
I did.
Okay.
Shoot the glowy bits.
They do conveniently light up.
Blow off the joints on the knees, and the
I
front
kn-
Buddy.
behind them. It is weaker.
Hey, we were already doing that, okay?
Oh jeez.
Listen, Peter Stormare from Armageddon, we already did that. Am I dead already? Nope, not yet. Soon.
Strong as a plague. Destroy it.
Working on it.
See? Yarrow, very strong opinions on scars.
What's a scar?
The dudes we've been fighting.
Yeah, but what are they?
Bugs that put on
Bugs.
human clothes.
I like it. I'm into it.
This game
Like,
could
yo.
use a Killer Instinct announcer for the
It's all
combos.
weaknesses, let me tell you.
Yes.
You can see my ultimate where I just go nuts and melee everything.
Monster scar down. Finally.
We did it.
That's what you get for buying Arcanist.
Pull out your best,
Did you get anything
you know.
from the black box?
Fist of the North Star meme right there for
You there?
the interceptor combo.
By outlaws, not scars.
We need
Nani?
Nani?
Magic College was killed. The Arcanists were captured and then sold.
And Diggs?
Is an
Here,
outlaw
look.
using a stolen suit to masquerade as a
It's
freelancer.
what's that
You come
dwarven
back,
mining
my
game?
friend. We will
Oh
find
yeah!
the hostage.
I actually got Deep Rock Galactic. I
Yeah,
just
Deep
got
Rock
an email about that
Galactic. Here we
today.
go, boys. Let's dig some. let's
Speaking
dig
of
some
games,
stuff out.
alright, totally off topic, but yeah, their email was like, hey, yo, it's been a year since the game's come out, and here's the latest development update that we have for it. Continuing the support and the improvements and changes that we've made. So look, this can happen, alright? This can happen.
So I said, all right, a while back, I said I actually like this game, and we did nothing but rag on it.
Tell me
Yes.
the good thing.
So
I
the
said some
good
good things. I
thing
said I like
about
it.
it,
I like it.
I really like, especially when it's running smoothly. I actually really like running around and doing the free play stuff. I like
Yes.
the missions.
Eh.
No, hold on. Not the not the missions that the game throws at you for the story, because they're just kind of short and clipped in a way that feels maybe incomplete.
Or like the same. Well, I can't say this. Yeah, never mind. Sorry, go ahead.
But what I like this system. I like the how if I play, I get extra XP to donate to all of my friends who play. It's a little bit, but it's some. So if you have a big group of people that all play the game on your friends list, you're getting a bunch of passive bonuses just for playing. Which
It does that automatically too.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing you have to go set up.
you don't have to
Any
join a
friends that
guild.
play.
You just have to have people on your friends list.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
What I liked the Stronghold mission, which is like this game's version of a dungeon or a raid in another game. There's a lot I feel like they just need to iron out. Like the number of things that cause a loading screen is borderline ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, opening your inventory, you can't even do while you're walking around because the inventory screen is a load screen.
Yeah, and so like I think from Okay, so yeah, loot that we pick up we don't see until after we complete a mission or free play or whatever that we're on,
Right.
and then we can see it, and then we have to go to a separate place to equip it. So I think going to that separate place outside of a mission sucks. Like that should be easier to pull up, and it shouldn't require a loading screen. I'm kind of this is one of those things where it splits, right? I'm okay not knowing what loot I got until after a mission, because the number of times where it's been like, hold on, I just got something new, let me look at it, let me.
My bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. I'm okay with all that being, nope, we're on a mission, we're doing a thing, look at it later, right? Like, I am totally fine with that, because who cares? Like, whatever it is isn't going to make such a difference that you need it right away.
What do we know about this guy?
Not much.
But I do
So-
I do like
I remember that a bunch of freelancer links
like
went
if
missing.
they could spice up the missions a little bit and kind of make the loops less jarring into one another.
We need to watch for anything that
It,
Yeah.
would, it would go a long way. It, like much like Destiny kind of grew as it went. I think Destiny 1 started stronger than this. But I think they have a framework for going somewhere. The
Sure,
biggest
yeah.
crime this game, like honestly, the biggest crime this game has, in my opinion, is that the loot. Like I don't really care if I have to wait to look at it. It's just that it's all samey. There's like
Sure.
there are 3 auto rifles, there are 3 shotguns, and you will get varying degrees of rarity of the same shotgun up until the point you start getting the masterwork and legendary gear. So like, if I get out of my way. So if I go to the forge and I want to look at my weapons, right? So let's see.
Yeah.
Here we go. So this is the legendary rifle that you get for this particular version of the game. You'll see it has 18 power, but it has a perk. Emptying the magazine recharges your shields. Okay?
Yeah.
And you see how it gives 4 bonuses? Well, here is the Resolution Heavy Pistol. It has a little perk, and it says, oh, you get 7% electricity damage. Otherwise, it's just a gun. Oh, here's the rare one. It's the exact same gun, but it just has 2 tiny little perks. And until you start getting to masterwork and legendary gear, it's all really, it's just, oh, it's the same gun. I've been picking up a whole bunch, but it has like different perks that are really hard to gauge the power of, because you know you still don't even have enough gear slots to make a full build. So like I leveled up, so now I have another component slot, and the component slots are kind of like choosing talents or something in another game. So here, okay. No, that is a unique thing. So what do I increase? Make that. And there we go. So all of these things combine to kind of make a build. It's like, okay, I got a boost to fire, I got a boost to my elemental synergies, so maybe I want to do electricity and ice instead of, ice and fire like I'm currently doing. And it slowly starts revealing itself as you go, but it's never
it's never that apparent.
It's never, yeah, it's like in other games you can be like, oh, like an exotic weapon in Destiny feels different than other weapons.
Right.
Like its ability is immediately apparent.
And even like legendary stuff in Diablo 3, right? Like they got that eventually to the point where it's like, oh, this thing has specific boosts for my build that I can see and that I need.
Yeah.
Or you can build around that item itself.
Yeah.
So let me show you crafting
this just,
real quick.
Oh, craft. Look, here's the thing I'm going to say that's annoying about crafting. Right now where I'm at in the game, which I'm close to the end, I'm probably about 75% through the game. I have enough materials that I can craft a ton of stuff, and like I could craft blue gear. Like I have enough materials that I could craft blue gear, in order to start seeing some of this stuff. Except the only way I can actually get blue gear is by leveling up factions.
Yeah.
And that, yeah, so there's 3 factions: Arcanists, Freelancers, and Sentinels, and you get missions for them, and that gives you a big thing. And if you do different things in the world, like, I don't know, looks like Freelancer is based around like discovering areas. Like the first time you fly into a new area, you get some Freelancer faction points. Whenever you go out and you harvest stuff for like stuff that's in the world, you get Sentinels. If you find readable things, you get Arcanists. But like leveling those things up, like now I need 1500 points to hit the next level for those loyalty things, and that 1500 points is what gets me the blue gear blueprints. Without doing that though, and I have no idea how much longer that's going to take me, because right now I don't have any missions for them. I've completed all side missions and I'm still short by a good amount, like 800 points or so, I think is the most I'm away for one of them. I have to finish up the story, and then I hope that there's contracts, there's stuff that lets me push those. But even so, I'm at the point in the game where I need to fill out my stuff with blue gear, right? Like that's what I want. I want rare stuff. But the drops that I get aren't consistent, because drops come based off of level / overall, I think, your javelin rating, right? So like once you hit certain thresholds, you start seeing uncommon items drop. Like initially it's all common, then you see uncommon, then you see rare. That's not unusual, right? I mean, Destiny does that too. But like, because of the fact that the loot is paced out in such a way, and they have this whole crafting system where it's like, okay, craft what you want to fill in the spots, I can't even access that. Like I can't even do the thing that I need to do to like fully boost me and bump me up. And that's just why, like if you have the system, why are you locking this behind this kind of a progression where people playing the game as I have been and doing everything, I have still not done that. Like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's weird. It seems that, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like it has a good game flow. Like the locomotion they've nailed down, it seems, but like moving from thing to thing.
Well, it's like the flying around the world is basically as they showed you in the game's reveal trailer.
Yeah, it's
like
awesome.
That's the things like, oh my god, look at this environment. That's crazy.
That sells you on that game.
And it's good. Like, I mean, you're absolutely right. Like the gameplay itself, I don't have a huge problem with. Like shooting the guns, yes, other games it feels better to shoot guns, but they work. Like there's stuff that they could do to make them more exciting, where they could create some really unique guns. That this one shoots like a, I don't know, corkscrew or something like that. Whatever the case may be, right? They can do stuff with those, but like shooting the guns feels fine. The abilities are cool when you start comboing and using those together and doing different things. And this is largely combat that's based off of using a ton of those abilities. Like it wants you to use them every time the cooldown is up. It is absolutely like that's what they want. So that's fine. Running around, like I'm trying to say we should close this out, just go on free play real quick so I can run around with my stupid dumb Colossus and melee stuff. But like,
allow me to finish this conversation I'm in.
But like the actual kind of like in combat stuff feels fine, and there's tweaks they can make there. But everything else around this game, I have so many problems with, and it's not that like I'm saying all this as a way of saying this game sucks, this game is terrible, don't play this game. Like this is saying this is something that like I see potential in, and like gameplay wise, I actually kind of enjoy. But it has problems, it has issues, it has things where it makes it tough to play and tough to enjoy when I'm, like running through that mission that we just did. 75% of it I didn't even participate in because whatever weird loading things that there are with their Frostbite engine or whatever the case may be, like the stuttering I had for just trying to get ready and going took me way longer than it did for Mike. And so Mike was up ahead of me, already doing stuff by the time I caught up with him.
Private
It
mode
just
is
makes
not
for
available for free play. One moment. Uh-oh.
it's just what?
I just got kicked out of the game.
Oh.
This is the Anthem experience, is running around and then suddenly losing connection to a server and getting to enjoy a loading screen again.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much about it that's frustrating. Like I've played pretty much all this game solo, and that's been the best experience so far, which sucks to say because, you know, like anytime I have to go to free play and there's a part where you have to go into free play, it makes it even worse to play because it is not only trying to deal with whatever mess I've got on my end of things that it has to load and unload, but now it's also trying to do network connectivity versus when I just do private matches, it still is a stuttery mess, but it's way better than network play.
So I'd like you all to note that I was in a single player location. What? All right. Are you in here with me?
I don't know, I'm in a loading screen.
Okay. Well, anyway, what it will do is you'll be in Fort Tarsus, which is a solo-only place, and you'll blip your internet connection, and it kicks you all the way out of the game and forces you to load for like 30 seconds to get back in, and you'll be in a completely different spot in Fort Tarsus. But eventually Jason will show up here.
No,
I
not
am
in Fort Tarsus.
interested in... What's that?
Not in Fort Tarsus. I can't be in the same place. That's
No, you just spawned in the game.
Oh, whoa. Ah, whoa, sorry.
Look at you. Oh, so is there something on your foot? That's weird.
Yeah. Oh, I stepped in something. Yeah.
So, they said that
Shield.
next month there will be a batch of content that's dropping. And it seems like they're going to put, like, chapters of story into this game one at a time.
Okay.
Which is good, but it also worries because I'm like, before they add anything else, they need to fix what's here.
And it better not be on-disc DLC, as they used to say. Look at all this stuff we can harvest. I can
where's some
craft with
enemies?
this.
Yay! All right, put up my shield. Ready? You watching me?
Yeah, sure. Oh, look at you go! It's pretty cool. Yeah. I'm just
the Juggernaut.
Harvesting plants. This is Stardew Valley with robots. Oh, there you are. Hello.
Wow, there's a bunch of plants here.
Yeah, I picked them all up. I watched you charge away. It was real cute.
Thank you.
Destroy that plant. There was 800 coins in that plant.
It's a rich plant.
So yeah, Jason got super tethered to me while we were doing the other mission, but I'm just flying completely away from him.
Oh, but wait, we can show world event now. Okay, maybe that's where our other is. Let's see. Let me cool off in my thing before I overheat. Where am I? We're in the Bullet Mires, which means we want to go Great Canyon. I have no way of go over to Great Falls Canyon.
I don't know how to find places in this game.
I know, because you can't set waypoints. But anyways.
Well, that's in the DLC.
I don't even know where that Great Fall... Oh, I see. It's this way somewhere. Where are you steering us? Because there's no map markers for anything.
I know, yeah. All I can say is make your way there. Alright, let's go do that public event.
The signal isn't too far away. We should respond. Oh, look. Scars. Stand ready. The freelancer signal isn't far. See if you can track them down.
Shields up. Let me run into this thing first. Alright, shields up. Now I can do what I do best. So yeah, don't shoot anything, just watch me for a minute while I'm running through here.
I think I'm lagging,
gonna be awesome,
so you are just kind of moonwalking with the shield.
Nice, that looks probably even cooler.
The freelancer.
Oh no,
We're too late.
they're dead.
I'll get what I can from their link. It's the least we can do. Keep your head up. They're not finished with us yet.
Nice. Flames.
Keep the area clear. We don't need any interference.
Here we go.
Okay, that was pretty cool.
Welcome to my playstyle. Just I run at an enemy and charge into them.
I gotta protect the ghost while it hacks the console.
Yeah, you do that. I'm good out here.
Okay.
Oh, hey, there's a big boy.
Oh, there is.
Hey, what's up, big boy?
There was a big boy.
Keep at it. About half done. Keep the area clear.
So
We don't need any
so one of the
interference.
interesting things about this game is you don't get any experience for killing things. You only get experience for performing combat feats.
So you will get experience like killing multiple things using your melee, or you.
You'll see things pop up from time to time that say like, ooh, weak point striker or multi-kills. And you'll tally all of that for XP.
Just about done.
Oh, nice.
They had a fragment for the Arcanist. Scars must have got to it. I say, we take it back.
Oh.
Let me just get my auto cannon going here. My flamethrower is bigger.
Well fought.
You did it. And we
Hey, where are
did
you
it.
running off to?
Completed a world event. Let's open that treasure chest.
Let's get some loot.
Oh yeah. And I got 175 rep.
Oh, I got a common item.
I got a rare
Yay.
item.
I
Yeah.
got a rock.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how that feels. Alright.
But flying around feels so good.
Look, having your shield out and running into stuff feels so good. It feels like, again, I feel like I'm Terry Tate and I'm just like running at dudes, yelling at them for not refilling the coffee machine after they used it.
And I really like the storm combos. I like the space magic.
Great Falls Canyon is the other way.
I will see this game through to probably the level cap and at least play through the first content drop before I really judge what I want to do with it, but I really hope they fix it because it's an Iron Man simulator and it should always be good.
I mean, yeah.
Without
and
the
again,
crippling alcoholism too.
He's not wrong. Yeah, like the parts of this that they get right, they get so right, but the parts that they get wrong are far more plentiful and oh so wrong.
But they at least are, a lot of them are fixable. At least.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
I mean, like this is it. It's just like one of those things where it's like, it sucks because you're just sitting here like this is a game with an asterisk next to it that says maybe it'll be good. Check back in 6 months or whatever, right? And it's just like that, is a bad place for a game to be, and it's a bad place to like sit there and be like, hey, we'll have to see what they do.
When you're launching your game as a service, it's usually a good idea to make sure the service is worth subscribing to.
I mean, you are not incorrect. Alright, that's another. I don't care about the outlaws. I want to see if we can get to one of these little titans real quick. That's where I'm trying to get us to. Eventually. Again, if I had map markers, it would be easier to plot a course. Alright, yes, keep going the way I'm going. We'll get to we'll get to Great Falls Canyon and we'll see if that guy is up. And I mean, like, from a co-op perspective, yes, I have not done a Stronghold yet because I don't think I could handle it.
So have you done any co-op in your story missions?
No, I've done nothing because
I have not done anything single player yet.
I mean, like, I can't. Like, this game barely runs for me, and
sure.
I mean, that's even like I have all my graphics settings turned down to like medium and low, and it's still just like I don't know if I can.
Do I fly faster than you, or what's going on?
You load faster than me. You haven't. That's why. But yeah, so like I haven't done that just because it's a bit of a buggy mess when I try and do some of the stuff in this game. But like some of the things I have done, like doing these couple missions with you, and hopefully. Oh, they reset them though. I just realized that. No, probably went away because today was their reset day.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Scorpions, watch yourself.
Well, so there were. Oh yay, scorpions.
Yay, scorpions?
Yeah. They're all up close. They don't got anything special. I just run into them. Scorpions are my specialty.
I was taken by surprise. We need to turn the tables.
So they had Titans. Some, like their event last week was that there was the big enemies in these games are called Titans, and they're like
Bit on the nose.
some nasty mofos. And they had one that was just in this area that I was gonna, try and fight, but I realized that was part of their weekly stuff, and their reset for that stuff is Mondays. So that went away, so we can't show that off. Scars, that works too. Hey, what's up, guy? What's up, guy? Bonk, bonk, bonk.
I saw you kick a tree branch. That was pretty cool.
I don't care if it's a tree branch or an enemy.
Ooh, harvesting mode. Yeah.
Bump, 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 bump.
I'm going for my botanist achievement.
Go for it. I got these.
You don't.
Oh, so yeah, here's another fun thing. Like, all these guys I have hit multiple times, and none of their health is registering for the damage.
Oh, don't worry, I killed most of them.
We've got this.
Bump, bump. Thank you.
Now that I'm used to the controls again, I feel much better.
Bump, bump. Hello, bump.
We did it.
You're welcome, Corvus Agent.
Yes!
Give us some loot.
a treasure
We're rescuing
chest. Oop, oop. Get that rare ember. Daily
Another
world
common
events. I guess what I'm trying to say is I actually just like kind of playing this game in free play and roaming around.
Yeah.
Much more than I like playing the game's actual story.
Sure. And I mean, like, I think the Stronghold stuff,
Look, we're in Morrowind.
is... You're not wrong. I think the Stronghold stuff is interesting and kind of cool. And I think, you know, again, from a co-op perspective, has the best potential. Because that's something where it feels like, you know, you actually get to use different abilities and roles for the javelins and everything, but just...
I would like to see something akin to a... I know they have the Cataclysm stuff coming. I would really like to see something like a Destiny raid in this.
But please just keep it to 4 players.
Sure. But I mean,
Although,
I did
given the fact that they match make everything.
I did the Stronghold. The Stronghold you do during the campaign, and I actually really liked it. It was... The combat was a little less brain dead than some of the big like gauntlets in Destiny tend to get. So I don't know how many times I've done a strike in Destiny. It was just a dead sprint straight to the boss.
Sure. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, like, this is game number 5 where we're like, hey, we're gonna come and check back in this in a few months and see where it's at, and if it's good by then.
Seems to be a common theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
And I mean, a lot of those
games
games,
are hard to make.
I mean, yeah, games are hard to make, but a lot of those games too, it's a lot of those other games, it's been like, hey, this is an early access.
Yeah.
This is not a full release game.
I
This
mean,
does
the
not
game's
have
release
the
date
same-
means nothing.
I mean, a game's release date means something if you say this is the release date.
Well,
Like-
is this game even out yet? I mean, I don't know.
Yes, yes. I will point you to the mofo chart that says this game is out. That I can do.
Right. Well, shall we wrap it up?
Particularly, I can point it to you when I say that they have a day 1 patch that came out. You say the day 1 patch, that means the game is out.
Yeah, but that was
Yeah.
like day 7.
Don't. I will autocannon a fool. Come here.
No.
Shoot you down out of the sky.
You can't catch me. I got an SSD. This looks like a Titan. Lesser
Did you
Ash
find
Titan.
him? Oh, we'll fight a lesser Ash Titan. No, these were like much bigger dudes, but yeah, we'll fight a lesser Ash Titan. Real quick.
If I don't kill him already.
So these things actually, like, again, out of the enemies in this game, these actually do require some coordination of attacking and flanking because their weak spot is on their back. So you have one guy that draws their attention while someone else shoots at their weak point. And they have these little things where you get to play hopscotch.
I think when you pick the class, it can fly really well.
Yeah, when you cheat and pick the class, it can just hover.
Oh, he overheated. What a jerk.
Oh no. Joink. Bounce. So yeah, the Titans that they had were basically this, but bigger. And they also had a new attack where they would fire this laser beam out of their chest, and their little pulse things would go multiple times. and it'd be a changing pattern where it'd be like bottom, top, bottom, or top, bottom, kind of a, you know.
Right.
It was one of the cooler encounters I had, and like I was wailing away on the guy just on my own and doing what I could to put damage on him, and then another guy flew in and started helping me out, and that was a lot of, you know, it was a fun encounter. And I got a rock.
You got a rock?
I got like one common, one uncommon gear item for bringing that guy down, so yeah. Alright, I'm done with this. Launch the nuke.
Look at that.
Launch the nuke. Launch the nuke. I do like that. That's pretty much my
rare items.
That's my ultimate ability. Is here. I'm just gonna fire off 3 nukes. Anyways,
pretty cool. Hold on. Let me nuke you.
You gotta catch me first.
Okay.
And
there.
I flew into a waterfall.
And on that note,
This is Anthem.
that is Anthem.
And it
Well,
looks so cool.
Let's see what we get. A bunch of XP.
I'll tell you in 5 minutes after my game loads.
Yeah. Oh, you get to
Yeah.
see my cool bow.
Are you gonna see my chest pound?
Hmm.
Yeah, I've used my first week of gold to buy some emotes for the Colossus, because why not?
The artillery playstyle.
I think I usually get the Executioner,
You did.
because I'm in there
So there we
running
go.
everything over.
Bunch of Alliance XP, where we might be up to level 2 Alliance this week. We are. Go. You can get up to 10 levels worth of Alliance points. And boy, a bunch of rare gear. Just salvage that uncommon one. And on that note, that is
And on
Anthem.
that bombshell.
And on that disappointment, yes.
Yes.
Anyway, we'll check back in with it, and let's maybe say a few weeks to a few months, see where it's at.
Yeah.
I hope they turn it around, because I think they got a good
I do
place
too.
to go.
I mean, in all honesty, as much as I'm sitting here, I'm like, this bothers me. This is bad. Whatever. Yeah, I hope they turn it around, because I'd like to see them do something. I think this has so much potential that
Yeah.
it'd just be a shame to see, like, well, hey, remember Hellgate London?
Oh, Jesus, let's not go there. I guess in my eyes, I feel kind of close to the same way I felt after Destiny 1's launch, where it's like, yeah, there's a lot wrong with this, but I do like it. And there's something, like, every time I play it and kind of, dig into it a little bit, I feel better about, like, I just start getting into it. I feel like I'm going somewhere. I really enjoy playing it, and then I'll put it down and read 1,000 comments on the internet about why it's terrible. Come back in and be like, yeah, that stuff's all bad, isn't it? And then I play it for, 20, 30 minutes, and I'm like, who cares? It's fun. So if they can remove a lot of those barriers to it, I think it'll be in a good spot, but hopefully they get the chance to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
I
Thank you for
concur.
playing and showing showing me this beautiful
Thanks
game.
for being here.
Oh, the beautiful game. Well, I have FIFA 19. I can fire that up if you really want to see
Yeah,
it.
Damn it.
EA property.
All right. Goodbye.
All right, everyone. Have a good one.